Hi, welcome to Love Talk with the Hardings. This is number 5. Before we start, we would like to join with you in a moment of silence. So let's all take a deep breath together, close our eyes, go within for a moment, and then we'll begin our talk.
Today we're going to discuss or explore the word listening. You will find that listening comes into every category of communication. In fact, in my 40 years of doing spiritual work, I have discovered that people only hear what their conditioned mind tells them. They listen to the concepts that they have. For example, if we use words like love, immediately the mind gives you the definition of love that you have accepted as real. That doesn't mean it isn't real. It means that there is deeper, because the moment we conceptualize something, the moment it becomes very set in our way of seeing, we do not see beyond it. And it is only as we allow to see deeper and deeper and listen, that is when it starts to expand. Um, I have found that the Advaita, the non-duality way, is a very simple way to begin to listen. For example, Advaita says that everything is oneness. But in the world, there is duality. Now, duality simply means two opposing forces. This means that for an every up, there's a down, for a right, there's a left, for a front, there's a back, etc., etc. And this makes up our world. But at the same time, they both need each other. Okay, so listening is when you see automatically that both are becoming one. Let me make it a little clearer. In order to understand what we call truth, which is love, really, there are two ways of looking at it. One is that everything that we see and experience, every object, comes and goes, whether it's a thought, emotion, feeling, the world, cars, houses, bodies, etc. They come and go. But then there is an aspect which we discover later on as we become more aware, and that is which never changes, that which was never born, that which never dies. But as you go into that part, you'll find that that is all that there is, because it is from it, which sometimes we refer to it as nothingness or emptiness or spirit, is where everything came from. You see, it is the creator of all that we see and experience. Now, when we understand this, then we see that actually, in truth, this undying, unborn principle is what it's all about. When we start listening from that vantage point, then we listen to everything automatically. This principle, this undying, which we often call God, is all that there really is. It's called love, actually unconditional love, and is the real part of us. I am here appearing as a body. I am a container of all the thoughts, feelings, emotions that I've been conditioned to in my upbringing, in my life. But beyond it all, there is pure awareness, which makes it all possible. Because how can I have those things unless there is awareness of them? See, I cannot think without awareness. In fact, when we are thinking, we're aware that we are thinking. Okay? Awareness is the primal source of who we are. When we understand this, then we start to really listen. The wonderful thing about my daughter and I is that we talk about the same truth, of course, because truth is the same. But we have points in which we address it so that we can see it from different angles. Okay, so how about you giving us your point of view of this?
Absolutely. I've learned that listening is absolutely essential to expand our awareness. And there's two ways of looking at listening. There's the listening of self, such as in meditation, when we listen to that eternal beingness that Burt talked about. And then there is presence listening with another human being, and truly listening from that eternal self, being in that present moment, and not listening from here, not listening from the mind, the intellect, listening from our hearts, our expanded state. I remember when I first became aware of it, and I don't actually mean aware is not a good word, because I wasn't quite aware of the non-duality that Burt is talking about. I read about it, and I thought it's interesting, and then I realized that I am an infinite being. I like what Michael Brown says. He says, I saw with real eyes. I realized that I am this infinite being, and it kind of freaked me out, and it kind of brought up fear. And now I'm at a place where I love the idea of knowing that I am infinite, or infinite is within me, and everything is infinite, and everything is energy. Like Burt was saying, it's always moving, so I look at it as energy. Everything in this world is energy, and the one constant in this human form that we can rely on is change. It's always moving, always moving. So when we feel sad in one moment, we can remind ourselves it's passing, it's just in this moment. And so listening is a vital, vital part on this that we need to understand in this on the spiritual path. For instance, you could listen to us or another video and intellectualize it. Well, how can this be? How can my hand hear me? Can the sky hear me? If everything is one, we can go into our heads, or we can go into our hearts and trust in the mystery of all of this and go, okay, let's see what this infinite is about, and truly listen inside of ourselves. And this listening, this stillness, this oneness, when we get used to it, helps us understand who we really are and helps us in our day-to-day life as well. So I'd like to invite you, as you're listening to this video, to truly listen, and without judgment, without deciding that it doesn't resonate with what I've been taught before. Like Burt said, a lot of us in human form listen to our conditioning, our beliefs. Hey, and we need that in this human form. It's all okay. We need that. That's what makes this life great. But all of us here are wanting to expand our awareness, so let us listen more to ourselves and each other. It makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. It has in my life, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even saying to yourself, I'm going to listen. Okay? It takes you beyond yourself. Because all the time, the moment you hear anything at all, your mind makes up its mind. Because the concepts are a very solid state. So they are a belief, right? Mm-hmm. The only way to go beyond a belief is simply to see it as a belief, and there's something deeper. This is why Buddha said, give up all your beliefs until you're totally empty. And then you'll see the Buddha. In other words, you see that which is. Yeah. Because that which is not a concept. And it's very hard to understand intellectually, because intellectually that's all we know, concepts. Did you know that everything we're talking about now is a concept?
Or our perspective.
Our perspective, yeah. So by pointing out the fact that even what we are saying and hearing is a concept, you begin to hear it even deeper. And it is that depth itself that takes you back to the source, that which is you. And the you, of course, is not that which changes, fluctuates, because everything changes, everything. There's nothing that is solid in our world, except that which is real. And that which is real never changes, is never born, never dies. It is infinite, and it is known as love, unconditional love. And when we place importance on that first, then it will flower. It will, what is the word? It will expand or and flourish, right? And enrich every part of our life. Yeah.
Oops, sorry, I moved the computer. I have a question about Buddha, with that quote you made of Buddha when you talked about letting go of everything. Is that the
Letting go of all beliefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I watched my mind as you said that, and I thought, oh, that's such a big thing. How many years is that going to take? And it felt so big. And then I realized, wait a minute, I can do that right here, right now, right?
No, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because everything is a belief. Everything that you think is a belief.
And a belief is just a thought.
And belief is just a thought. Yes. So, and naturally, so you become, as you talk, as you speak, even now as I speak, for example, I'm very much aware that words are words. They're not the truth. But yet we need to use words. And so this is why sometimes we can make a long talk about nothing, because truth is really that source, that nothingness from which everything came. And that's the only thing that matters. Well, the moment we realize that, everything makes sense and falls into place. Because now we're seeing truly, clearly. And that word, that nothingness itself is called love. Because it has no... Well, the only way I can say is it's infinite. It has no limitation.
And it'll make sense, but it also feel right.
Yes.
When we go into the feeling body.
That's right. It feels
We'll
right.
know truth without a doubt. If you are, I feel like when I was questioning it, it's because I didn't feel it. I might have thought I knew it up here, but as soon as I started feeling it, I didn't question it anymore. Because I just knew it.
Yeah. So just like Deborah said, you'll know that you are following truth because you just feel good.
You feel it, yeah.
You feel good. You love the partner you are with, whoever that may be, a pet or even a car. You just feel good, and everything seems to flow. What that really means is that you're not contradicting or judging anything, but simply allowing that which is to be what it is. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be right now, all the time, every day. It could be moments, it could be hours, and then you'll go into contrast again, and then you'll come back to the truth, and every time you remember truth, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper in you.
Yes. Because you're not conceptualizing it, you're not putting it into a form. See, anything that goes into a form is simply changeable, okay, shifting all the time. But when you don't put it into a form, then it starts to expand, and that expansion is seeing more, feeling more,
Experiencing infinity.
That's right.
Experiencing
That's right.
infinity.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how we started talking about listening and we came up with truth?
Yeah.
How it just moved in that
It's
direction naturally.
Automatically. Right. Because whatever you listen to that is not truth becomes an argument. You see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that listening is how we know truth. We can only know truth. So if we're going into our heads and trying to go around and around and around to figure out, then we never get there. When we listen, and notice my hand is here, when we listen, then we can feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when you start feeling, that feeling is no longer emotional, although there's nothing wrong with emotion, of course not. But you feel it in the heart. You just know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this feels good. This is good. Yeah.
This is God.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
you can
the
feel
love.
it here, you can feel it here, you can feel it in different areas of your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when you listen to truth and you're open to it, and right now you're listening to, you know, to us, the moment you allow it to come through, you begin to feel good. You don't even realize it. When you realize that you're feeling good, you'll also realize that you're aligned as one. You see, that's what listening is.
Yeah, listening is connecting and aligning.
Listening is collecting and aligning.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
got tears welling up in my eyes.
Yeah.
Just- that's another sign it's truth, is when you
Yes.
feel
You
that
just
emotion.
it feels so good. You
Mhm.
just, yeah. And everything that's another beautiful thing too. That you might say, but how can I see truth in a world that is constantly changing, fluctuating, and never real? Because it's never solid, you know. You can love that as the truth. You can listen to that as part of the truth. See, so you can look at anything in the world and you see truth in it.
Anything.
Anything.
And the truth is that this is a human experience, and it's beautiful. So
Yes,
you
it
can
is.
love that.
It is, right,
Yeah.
right. You know, someone asked, how can I love the body when it's painful?
Mm.
Well, but that's the beauty of the body. The body is to be experienced. The body teaches you what you need to eat, how to live, to breathe. And when you follow so-called rules of love, in other words, that which is love is that which is harmonious. Okay? Then the body is working harmoniously.
Well, the body
When-
wants you to listen to it when it's
When
in
you
pain.
listen, if there is pain, it wants you to listen to that pain because that is telling you something needs to be done.
Something is not aligned.
Something
is
is
not
not aligned. Something
Yeah.
is not flowing.
Our
right?
bodies are beautiful even when they're in pain, and we're going to have pain because we're in a body. That's just the nature of the human.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the body is the instrument of learning on earth. Yeah, that's why we are here on earth, to experience fully and completely.
I love the way you put that.
Yeah.
Our body is an instrument of learning on earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes,
I like
that's
that.
why we were born human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until we learn all about love. And then we flower into that love. And that's why, Jesus said, in my Father's house there are many mansions. In other words, there are many gradations, there are many dimensions, you see, to our understanding. You can never say, I've arrived. You can never say, I am fully awakened. There's always more learning, more, it's unending, the beauty, the glory. Someone asked, what is it like to go in heaven? And he said, well, when you reach orgasm, it only takes a few seconds. Well, it's so orgasmic, he said, that you are one whole orgasm. It's a total joy that is inconceivable to the mind.
To the mind, yeah.
To the mind. But we begin to feel it in moments of great love. See?
Yeah. All you are is love. Do, do, do.
All you need is love.
Do, 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 do. John knew it. He knew it.
yeah. Okay.
Great. It's been a delight making these videos. I'm on my way back to Ontario, so who knows what the future holds.
Right. And these talks have always been spontaneous. We didn't plan them. We didn't say, oh, well, we should say this, so that. Nothing like that. Because spontaneity is part of the beauty of communication too. Because that's when the heart is touched. When you plan something, you stay too much in your head.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you.
I love you.
Bye.